We have a very impressive lineup in terms of speakers and discussions, and we have a very important topic. I want to mention just briefly the purpose of this workshop. Many of you in the room have been working for quite some time on many efforts associated with the workshop, and some of you are just coming today to sort of get an update. So I want to talk a little bit about the purpose of the workshop. It's pretty much a twofold purpose of the workshop today. We want to take the opportunity as a department to share lessons learned in the area of work planning and control, and we want to do so from a program perspective as well as site-specific perspective. So we'll have some very interesting presentations and discussions, and hopefully some lively question and answer periods associated with that. We also want to take an opportunity to status where we are with the commitments on work planning and control that were outlined in the Deputy Secretary's letter to the Defense Board of November 30th. A lot of activity associated with those tasks, and we've asked the task leaders working on those various activities to provide you with a status and give you an opportunity to ask questions, and also to provide some feedback and some new thinking, some new insights associated with how we might best deliver those products in a quality manner. One thing that I should have done when I walked up was to talk just briefly about a safety share, and I'll just only take a moment to talk about that. Many of us have been very focused because there are a lot of laws and regulations associated with texting while driving. I want to focus on one particular area, and that is texting and talking on the phone while walking. Many of us are still doing that. We're doing it in the hallways at DOE and in your workplaces, wherever you arrived from today, but also we're doing it as we walk in the streets and go into restaurants and other things, and that certainly is as dangerous as texting while driving. So I want to offer that word of caution and ask all of you to adhere to that for your own safety and the safety of others around you. I'll return now to the work planning and control activity that we have scheduled here today. We have a very impressive agenda, I believe. It was difficult to put it together because we had more of a compressed day with having to work with time zones on both the East and the West Coast. But we think we're bringing you, a lot of diversity associated with the kinds of things that we're doing, that we're thinking of doing. And we want this to be interactive, even though many of you are not physically here with us. But we want it to be interactive and that there are, questions and answers and discussions. We've left some time at the end of today and tomorrow that we can reflect on where we are and kind of decide next steps. We will issue a formal proceedings of the workshop that would include posted on our website that will have information of the various speakers. Hopefully the videos will be working well as copies of the papers and more detailed information about the tasks that we're doing, and also actions and kind of next steps on those key activities. So we encourage you to remain engaged fully over the 2 days, and when you receive the proceedings, hopefully that will continue, be one of the mechanisms that we'll use to continue this effort. Ray Corey is actually in Richland. He is my ISM co-chair. He's remote today, and you'll be hearing from him a number of times during the course of the day, as you will from some other speakers that are actually remote. Majority of the speakers will be here in Forrestal, but we have some that have some limitations, and we certainly want to respect those. But we want to hear from them and hear the lessons learned in the area of work planning and control. This is a different kind of workshop from the workshop that we've done in the past. We've had since the 2007 timeframe workshops where we were doing a number of things in parallel, in some cases 9 to 10 tracks associated with ISM. There are many facets to integrated safety management. But because of our need to get to improvements in the area of work planning and control, this workshop was convened solely for focusing on work planning and control. So that I know over the years we've had feedback from many of you that, I wish I could be in 3 or 4 places. I can't figure out which track to go to. We figured it out for you this time. We will all go to the work planning and control track, and we will be engaged as a department on a single topic. So I'm excited. I missed many of the things that we did before, but I think it's appropriate for us to focus just on work planning and control. And we call this a special workshop for many reasons. One, in that it has a different format, but also it is special because over the years from 1996 until today, when we were working on integrated safety management, we started at the top level and we developed systems and we got better with systems and we did a number of things at various levels, whether it was institution, and now we're getting down to the activity level where work is being done and workers are impacted with the activities that they carry on throughout DOE and conducting these very diverse missions. So I think this is special in a lot of ways, and also I believe that is your opportunity in the role that you're playing over the next 2 days, that you'll be able to speak to and be engaged and influence sort of the direction that the department is going. The November 30th letter, talked about a renewing of our activities and sort of a refocus, and so I think that it is appropriate for us to come together just on those single topics of work planning and control, and talk about next steps and how we move forward. I'm going to speak a little bit as we're waiting for the acting secretary to arrive about the overall agenda for the program, and that agenda is laid out after we have the plenary session this morning, where we would introduce, and have remarks from the acting secretary and from the Defense Board. It's laid out in terms of statusing the various tasks that you saw in the November 30th letter, as well as providing a forum for individuals or in some case small groups, to discuss site-specific or program-specific work planning and control challenges, as well as new initiatives and things that they're doing, as well. And so will be an opportunity for listening and then questioning during that period. We also will talk about, as a group, the ISM clause, which has been around for a long time and has served the department well, and kind of what the thinking is on the ISM clause and where we are in that area, as well. And so, again, remain energized and attentive as we go through the session. In terms of many times today and tomorrow, you'll hear us talk about at the activity level, because that's certainly down to the level, where work is being performed. But we are also talking about work planning and control processes at various levels, because you start at the top levels and you develop a process, and then you're making sure that it's going to flow down and that it's effective at the activity level. So in some cases, we'll be talking about the big work planning and control, and then we'll try to make sure that we're driving our discussions at getting at improvements at the activity level as well. So I believe that we have some key topics that will be of interest, to you, and that all of you will be able to find a number of things in the agenda that will be helpful to you. And again, we're also looking not just to hear about your experiences, but what you're thinking about what others are doing as well, and provide them with some feedback on those areas as well. We understand that in some cases things are certainly site-specific, but that we also will have some areas that we can apply away from the sites or across different programs. You will hear diverse thinking about work planning and control at the activity level. I think that's certainly good, because we have diverse missions and operations within DOE. But also I think it was an opportunity for the different programs, the different sites, the different types of processes for us to challenge each other in terms of, are we being rigorous enough in those activities, but also in addition to sort of the challenges that I've seen across the different tasks, I've seen some listening and some understanding and appreciation for the other kinds of things that are going on with an eye towards, or the things that I can learn for the processes that I have that will in fact, be helpful to me. So again, an opportunity as a department to kind of reflect on where we are in terms of work planning and control. We talked about this single focus on work planning and control. But we all know that with regard to integrated safety management, that all of the pieces are related, and so we certainly will, there'll be some discussions that will hit on feedback and improvement at the activity level. There will be a lot of discussion, I think, from the various presentations about, the core functions in terms of the things we do and the importance of the identification of hazards and having controls and working within controls. So you'll hear about all of the integrated safety management components, but we are focused a lot on work planning and control, which is the ultimate, I think, implementation of integrated safety management in terms of how you're implementing the work and how you're carrying out the mission associated with work planning and control.